My name's Kellen Graves. I'm from Elmira, California, and this is my 65 CJ5 per the state of California. As for its drivetrain, it's a small block Chevy 350, 400 coming in the interim, SM 465 transmission, 4-speed. It goes into a 231 doubler to a Dana 300, which is a 4-to-1. From there, we've got F350 axles. So it's got a Sterling 10.5 rear with an aux locker in the rear at 5/38. Front axle is a passenger drop high pinion Ford F350 Dana 60 that I had a local guy go ahead and retube so that now it's a passenger drop. It's got just some stock wheels that I found on Marketplace. I actually run inner tubes for inner double B blocks. Other than that, it's got some Pitbull 42s and they just work really well. The kind of wheeling I normally stick with is stick to the rocks. My home area would be the Rubicon or Ford Ice. This is where my typical place to go wheeling is. If I'm in the winter time, anywhere that's deep, nice, clean powder snow and it hasn't been high tracked, that's what I love. Just run the tires down to 3 pounds, 2 pounds of pressure, and just put it in an ultra low and just let it eat. The thing just goes wherever you point it. So the obstacles that it kind of works best on is anything that's going to get really twisted up. It's got 16-inch coilovers, all 4 corners. I'm at 113-inch wheelbase, clear 50 inches with a forklift. Granted, that's not true rocks space. Rocks could be a little bit more. Haven't put it on the RTI ramp. That's for future expenditures. Recently, I actually just did a CJ8 scrambler stretch. So we actually went ahead and added 24 inches to the back. So today we're actually learning this weekend how much I can hit that caboose all day long. Things I would normally never hit, you just don't think you would just fall off because the departure angle was completely zero, and then now it is garbage. I don't like the mud at all. The mud gets everywhere, inside and out, so that's a no-go. So far it has gone and endured any bit of treatment and of abuse that I give it. So I haven't really found a real niche that I can't get it to. Unless I'm doing downhill grades, my Dana 300 likes to pop out even though it has the upgraded springs and all that from a couple of companies. I'd say downhill, it's not its best. The worst brake that I've had on the trail is going to be before these axles. I had a Ford 9-inch and a Dana 44 in the front with the double T cases on 40s. I had it all wadded up, just idling along, and I snapped a shaft, and I thought maybe a link had just kind of just undone itself and just made a nice loud crystal clear snap, but no. I backed off the obstacle, and next thing you know, that tire is just wobbling right next to you. We took it out and that thing was a spear. So you pay good money for good chromoly shafts and you won't have breakages. My favorite modification to date, as of right now, would be the 2-foot extension. It's a slow grow, but it's allowed me to get rid of the tire carrier that I had on the back that I kind of screwed everything over the end and had everything just kind of dangling off the back end. And then now everything's kind of contained inside. I put a refrigerator and a slider back there, so it looks like very overlandish, but it has made packing things much nicer and simpler. So that's the biggest thing that's probably made the impact for this weekend. If I were to build this rig again, I would keep the axles I have. I probably wouldn't have spent so much money slowly building my Dana 300 and just tried to save for the Atlas. Piece by piece milling, one at a time, made it so that I can have the Atlas ability with, you know, slowly increasing the purchase. That big price tag all at once can be a little bit hard when you're, you know, just slowly building something. My best value mod so far is the fact that I was able to trade some construction work for my Dana 60 front axle. Oh, when people see my rig, they think all kinds of sorts of things. They think, here's the rust bucket. I named it as Dwight from the old TV show. It's kind of the guy that's kind of all over the place, knows a little bit about everything, is kind of eccentric, and this thing kind of fits that note. So when people see it, they see it's multicolored. It's got some patina on the hood. For anybody that really knows what they're looking at, they know the thing can go, you know, you just point and shoot and it goes anywhere. So the real wheelers know what it is. Sell this rig. I have no foresight to sell this rig. I've built several different rigs in my past, gotten rid of them, and this is the one I said I'm going to hold on to for a while, so it's going to go through a few different renditions. If I gave a piece of advice for anybody looking to complete a build, I would say have the general overview of what the end product is going to be. More or less know what tire size you want. If you can do 44s or something around that 3/4 ton and stick with 38 and below, then stick with something small and just beef those up. That can save you thousands of dollars in just knowing that little bit of information.